Good evening. Welcome back, YouTube subscribers and other people watching our video. My name is Matt. This is Michelle. Our channel is under construction. Um, we want to welcome all of you back again, all 9 subscribers, all 60 or so, and 9 subscribers, and 2 are right here. Yeah, I mean, let's tell it like it is, be transparent. But welcome back. We are excited today to talk about failure. I don't know if we're excited to talk about it, but it's a
I think
topic
it's a
that
topic we need to talk about.
yeah, it's a topic that we need to talk about because it is definitely something. Failure and obstacles and challenges are going to happen along the way. We talked last time about setting goals and New Year's resolutions. So as you go forward in that journey, you are definitely going to have challenges and setbacks, or otherwise called failures. And we're going to address that here today. I think we've both done a lot of research. Michelle, I am going to turn it over to you and let you get started.
Thank you. So one of the things that failure, unfortunately, is very bad at is it makes us feel disappointed. It leads to shame. It leads to self doubt. It leads to feeling defeated and feeling frustrated, and just overall, it's just not a good feeling.
Right.
We know when we fail, and it is just not a good feeling. It is not something that we go around advertising of, oh, hey, I failed today, or oh, hey, I, fell off, my dry January, and that led to me sleeping in and not, going to my daughter's basketball game the next day, or, going into work late, and it's just a downhill, one failure after another after another. Now I'm just feeling guilty and I'm ashamed, and I'm never going to do it again. Never going to do it again because I don't like that feeling, right?
Absolutely.
Success is actually the opposite of failure, which is kind of funny when you think about it, because success, you can't have success without failure. Think about the first time you took your first step. That's why they call it a first step. You didn't, start just running a marathon that day. You took your first step, and then you took two, and through, practice and preservation, you learned how to walk. Some do better than others. But there's different things of, from a failure perspective that we can even learn from. We sometimes have failure early on. I mean, if you look at some statistics of what our children go through these days, I mean, they're scared to to take a standardized test. They fear that. They have so much pressure, not only put on them from a society perspective, but the school's got to get, the best grades, and, the teacher's got to get, X amount of students that pass. And, we're just going to shove it down these kids' throat that failure is not an option. I think we're missing the point, though, is that it isn't, we don't want it to be an option, but it's going to happen. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think that it's part of the journey. I think that one of the things that you learn is failure is going to happen along the way, but it's one of the growing lessons of success. And I don't think there are very few people that set out to accomplish a goal and do everything right, and it's a success. And those of you that have done that, congratulations.
You need to call us.
Absolutely.
We need to know how to do it, and then we can talk about that.
Absolutely. But I think that when you really set a long term goal, there are going to be certain challenges along the way. And I think that that's part of the journey. And overcoming those obstacles is what leads you to that success and that growth. And I think that that's where it's the most rewarding.
Well, and I think we started talking about this when one of my goals is this year is to lose weight, and I'm not gonna put a timeline on it. I want the whole year to lose some weight. So I've started to implementing the changes in my lifestyle. For example, I started not eating as much fast food. I started cooking more healthier foods. I've started to create a list and go grocery shopping based solely on what we're going to fix and cook and eat that week. I think I've also tried really hard to make sure that we have healthier snacks, not just chips, but we have bananas, we have apples, we have fruits, and things of that nature. This past weekend, I actually hosted a baby shower for my cousin. Congrats again. But one of the things that I bought was a jar, if you will, of animal cookies. They are delish. They are gone. And it's really sad because I haven't lost any weight, but I haven't gained any weight.
We lost the
So
animal cookies, though.
we did we did lose the animal cookies.
I mean, I helped.
The kids helped. I mean, it wasn't just me.
No,
but
you did not just sit there and devour them all.
that was
It was a
probably
joint effort.
not the best thing to do in the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 days, is to just snack on cookies. if
Well,
you will.
I mean, it was good while it was happening.
Oh, it was delish.
The end result probably was not the best.
Oh yeah,
Or any of us.
it was delish. And now I need to go back and, going back to my goal. I haven't lost the weight that I've wanted to. I haven't even lost a pound. I don't think I've lost an ounce. So now what can I do different? Do I need to, implement an exercise, which is really hard right now because it's 18 degrees outside. It's been a little cold. So trying to do exercise is a bit of a challenge in the winter. I can't join a gym. I can. I choose not to join a gym because I've got a lot of things going on at home. But what else can I do? Do I need to actually find an exercise partner? Do I need to, engage one of my friends and, hey, I'm going to start doing this. Would you join me on this journey?
I'm glad she didn't say husband. I'm glad she said friend. Go
Well,
ahead.
you've already lost your weight.
Yeah, but I don't really do gyms, so. But go ahead.
What else can I learn from, learn and implement, if you will, so that I don't feel like a failure, 6 months from now, or at the end of the year when I'm like, you know what, I've already given up. This was a waste of time. I'm just done. So.
Yeah, so let me talk a little bit about some of the things. This is kind of a recap from a little bit of last week and some of the things that I think are challenges that you may experience. And then I think Michelle's got some things about how to maybe start working to overcome some of those things. So one is, remember, don't set unrealistic goals or expectations for yourself, because that is you either A, won't get started, or B, you will set yourself up to fail immediately. You've got to have genuine motivation to see it through. So you don't need to set a goal that is out there to appease somebody else or to appease your friends or to appease your spouse. It's got to be something that is personal to yourself and what you're generally motivated to do, so that you will go out and really attack that thing. And I think one of the things that's important is to have some kind of planning or tracking along the way. Have something posted up so that you can see it and you can really visualize it. For those of you that are visual people, I think that that's a big one, is having something to track your progress, because you can go out and set the goal to say, I want to lose 25 pounds, or I want to save $1,000, or whatever that is going to be, or I want to buy a new car, new house. Well, there's steps along the way to do that. And so celebrating those successes along the way, or understanding that's going to be an obstacle I'm going to have to really buckle down to get to that point, is only going to help you, and it will help you be successful. Understand that one of the biggest things is the psychological barriers, the mental blocks, having the fear of failure, having self-doubt. Those are really ingrained habits that we all have. And I know that in the past, that is one of the things that has held me back from going out to really attack certain goals that I had for myself. The weight loss journey was not something I just decided 3 years ago. I decided that many years ago. I just had doubt that I could ever do it. I didn't really want to change the behavior. I really wasn't motivated. I did nothing to put the plan in place. And so 2-3 weeks into every year that I would set that goal, I did nothing about it because I had already failed. And then I just put that on the shelf and said, well, forget it. I'll start that another time, and maybe I'll do that later. And then I think another one that's big is having support or resources around you to help you achieve that goal. I know it's important for me. I have a great accountability partner in Michelle. I've got great friends and family that I can rely on, that are going to keep me accountable to any goal that I go after. So I certainly don't mind telling others what that goal is that I'm trying to accomplish, because they can look at me and hold me accountable. Even if I don't share my progress along the way. If I say, hey, you know what, I'm trying to save money and I'm trying to save X amount of money this year. If I'm out going to the convenience store, like I told like last time, or I'm spending money unwisely, my friends and Michelle and the kids will call me out on it. Well, why are we doing that? Or why are you doing this? Or you really are not going to get there if you do that. And believe me, they will do that. They will hold me accountable to that, and I'm thankful for that. So those are just some things that as you look back from what we talked about last time and what can help you get there, I think that those are some important points to mention. And then I think, Michelle, you've got some really, really good ones along the path as well.
Well, and I think you brought up some really good points because these are kind of a piggyback, if you will, on when we were talking last time about New Year's resolutions and setting those goals. And those are great reminders. Also, keep in mind that sometimes you may be assigned a task at work. You may have an important test coming up at school. You may have an important project that is looming. I mean, there's other things that it's not just setting a goal. It's anything in life where failure. If you wake up, then there's probably going to be failure that day. It's inevitable. So there's a couple of quotes that I found that I thought were pretty interesting. So to learn to succeed, you must learn to fail. Michael Jordan said that, which is very interesting because if you've had the chance to grow up like myself, watching the great play the game, strive to, I want to be like Michael Jordan when I grow up. Want to have the stats, want to have the stature, just want to have the respect, if you will. I mean, I want to be like my.
Oh, sorry.
Exactly. I mean, he's one of the greats, and there hasn't been one really since. Sorry, LeBron, it's just not you.
Don't watch the video, LeBron. Sorry.
Hasn't been that. On the flip side of it, this is the same Michael Jordan who was cut from his high school basketball team. That blew my mind when I found that out. I wasn't even cut from my high school basketball team, and I'm definitely not a Michael Jordan. Now, I would like to think that I am, but I'm not. It's very interesting to see that the greats are even talking about failure. Mm-hmm. Babe Ruth said, "Don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game." I thought that was very interesting because if you know baseball analogy, do you want to ride the bench or do you want to get out there and go for a home run? What do you want to do?
Well, I think it's interesting. Baseball's a great analogy anyway because a guy who hits 300, for example, that's 30% of the time he gets a hit. Well, the other 70% of the time he's making outs. Yeah. So guys that hit 300 in baseball make millions of dollars, but
they're not perfect.
They're not perfect because 70% of the time they're failing. That's one of the sports statistics that always blows my mind. That is a benchmark that 70% of the time you can fail in that sport to get a hit, and you can make millions of dollars and be successful. So part of the journey is failing to be successful. Absolutely. That's a great one.
Absolutely. One of the things to remember is you don't get anywhere in life without failing. We as a society, we don't talk about failing enough. We sweep it under the rug. It is something that we don't like talking about, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this video, because I think it's time that we start talking about that failure. A lot of people that are depressed or have anxiety, statistics shows it's because they don't have that self-esteem, which has resulted in failure. They've been rejected. There's failure. There's tons of studies that have been done on that topic, and we need to, we want to open up the whole, mental. Let's talk about, mental health. That this is one of the ways is we've got to be able to talk about failure. We've got to acknowledge that we're not perfect. We're gonna fail. That's okay. Mm-hmm. I fail daily. My kids will tell you that I fail daily. You will probably not tell me, but you know that I fail daily.
I will not tell you.
It's just, unfortunately, it's just a part of life.
It is.
But we all learn. I don't know anybody that has actually succeeded in life that said, I had zero failures.
Well, they're lying if they tell you that.
Well, think of all the big names today. Was it Amazon, I think, started out
Jeff
in a
Bezos,
garage, in a
or
garage.
Apple computers.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many that just didn't start up at a big corporate with billions of dollars in equity already. I mean, they had to work themselves up to that, and I'm sure that they've had a lot of failures.
Sure.
I mean, any big company, just look it up. What failures did J.K. Rowling's have? I mean, pretty big one. I actually named a list of famous people who have failed. We've got Michael Jordan, Stephen King, Oprah Winfrey, Steve Jobs, Walt Disney, which I found was interesting because he was actually fired from a studio for not being creative enough. Walt Disney. That blows my mind. It just blows my mind. I mean, it just blows my mind. Sorry.
Those are good
So
examples.
yeah, so failure can teach us, and we're going to kind of talk about what do we need to do to recognize that failure. Let's learn. Let's move on. So number one, accept that failures and setbacks will occur. You wake up, you're going to have a setback or failure. I think I said that earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
Just go ahead and accept that. That is okay. That is okay. Thank God that you're breathing. Thank God that you're 6 feet above the ground instead of six feet below the ground. That still means we get a chance to learn. We get a chance to fail. We get a chance to share with others our failure if you choose to. And we hopefully learn from it.
Absolutely.
So the number two is listen to your feelings. So normally when you fail, you have that disappointment feeling, you have that shame, you have, depending on the severity of it, you may isolate yourself and feel alone because you're so embarrassed and just you don't want to talk to anybody, and you may be discouraged. You may have self-pity. These are all valid feelings. Acknowledge those feelings. Remember those feelings because they are valid. They're there for a reason. Something doesn't feel right. That's okay. Again, recognize those feelings, just don't stay there. Don't let those feelings get in the way of what is still yet for you to accomplish. But take time if you need to recognize those failures. Sometimes, I mean, depending, and I'll use relationships as an example. When you have a failed relationship, you don't just jump right back into the next one. You take the time and you mourn, and you may have grief, and you have those feelings, those normal feelings, and it's okay to have those feelings. Just don't stay there.
Yeah, I agree completely. I mean, that's not getting started either. Yeah. So I mean, that's not.
And I think you even talked about that in yours.
Absolutely.
Psychological.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the barrier.
Yep. So number three, remember the goal.
That's a big one.
What did you originally have in your head of why you set that goal in the first place? If somebody else put that goal on you, somebody else clearly sees that you're the right person for that project. You're the right person to lead this group. You're the right person to manage these people. Somebody else even saw that. So remember the goal. Look how far you've come. Just in life in general, look at how far you've come. Look at everything that you've already accomplished so far. I think all of that kind of just as a reminder of remembering your goal and what is the end game. Number four, we need to learn from our failures. So what went wrong? What steps can we take in the future to make sure that I'm not a repeat failure offender? Do I need to write these down? Sometimes it's just a bad habit that you need to break. Sometimes and I'll use smoking as an example. I think we were both smokers, and we made a decision at some point to quit cigarette smoking. And it's been hard. It's been a challenge,
to say the least. I've tried to quit several times, and I'm just 8 days into this current attempt, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I have failed so many times at it, and felt like I was just running into a brick wall because I didn't really do anything to change the behavior. I just said, "Oh, I just want to quit," and I didn't learn anything from it. I didn't sit back and look at anything to try to learn from that experience.
Well, and sometimes I think sometimes we can talk to a trusted friend. We confide in each other a lot, especially when we feel like we're failing or we're not doing what we need to be doing, if you will.
Sure.
So I think that's important to understand and actually learn from the failure. And then lastly, reset, restart. Life goes on. We're going to fail. We recognize it. We're going to recognize our feelings. We're going to remember why we set that goal. We're going to learn from our failure, and then we're going to start again. And it's just a cycle. We're going to start over and over and over again until we get that goal accomplished or where we want to be. That's all the notes that I have.
Well,
so,
I think that the big thing about that is you are going to slip up along the way. It's probably, it's a normal part of the journey, if you will. And you can't think of it as failure. You've got to take that as that's the learning opportunity. What did you, so kind of combining your 4 and 5, if you will, it's learning from that mistake. What was the setback? What caused it to happen? And what adjustments do you need to make so that you can push forward?
And sometimes it's not a mistake that you made. Sometimes life could have
Sure.
maybe gotten in the way.
Sure.
Maybe there was a health issue, or you got involved in a car accident,
Sure.
or any other kind of setback. It's not just a setback that you yourself may have done, but even in those situations, I think we can feel a bit of a failure.
Absolutely.
So,
what else you got?
I do have a couple of Bible verses. I do like going to the Word, if you will, to understand my personal, thought process and how I can remind myself that I'm not alone in being a failure. Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. That is a daily reminder of me that I am a professional failure. It's just what it is. I wish I could be perfect. There's no such thing as perfection. It's just not. I mean, I could go on a whole other topic on that, which I think we already tried once and we failed, so we had to redo it.
We did. This is take 2.
So we've all sinned and we fall short.
Sure.
In Psalms 145:14, the Lord helps all who fail. He rises up all who are oppressed. I think this is very interesting because whether you're a believer or not, this is just my personal opinion, the Lord's there to help us. He's there to help pick us up. He's there to help recognize our ways. But I think that's and I think you have a couple of good ones.
I do. One that's very similar to what you just said. Mine is Psalm 37:24. Though he fails, he will not be overwhelmed, for the Lord is holding his hand. One of the things that I have learned in the last year as I have really tried to renew my faith and walk a different journey with the Lord is, I'm going to fall down and I'm going to have obstacles, but the Lord is not going to put me in a situation that's going to be overwhelming. He is always there for me. So if there's no accountability partner out there, the Lord is that accountability partner for me. And I pray daily, several times a day, for that peace and that guidance and that wisdom so that I can be a better person, be a better individual, be a better leader. And so that's one that really sticks with me. And then another one is Jeremiah 8:4. And this is what the Lord says there. If a man falls down, he gets up again. And if a man goes the wrong way, he turns around and comes back. So again, you're going to have moments where you fail or you fall down or you fall short. And the idea is get up again. Get up again and learn from it and get started and you can get there. And that's part of the process.
Yep.
What else? That's it?
That's all we got for today.
All right.
I mean, we could keep going, but I think
nobody enjoys talking about failure, but I think it is one of those things that if you learn to accept that, you will be so much more rewarded when the success happens or when you finally achieve that goal, that the learning that you had along the way was growth. And not only will you be able to achieve the goal, and that just failed right here at the end of the video.
Our lights
Great, that was wonderful.
failed.
So that means it's time to wrap up for sure. So thank you for joining us. I think we should have another video out, hopefully within the next, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 days, as we try to prepare. And thank you again for watching and supporting us through this journey. Please like and subscribe and share with others. We would love to have others along on this journey with us, and we really appreciate your support. So thanks again for watching. Have a great night. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Stay warm.